Hello there and welcome back to another gluten-free and yeast-free baking video. How are we doing today? Today I'm going to be making candy cupcakes from the magazine Cupcake Heaven, and I believe it was their summer issue, as a part of the series of me making magazine recipes gluten-free, lactose-free and yeast-free. The reason I picked these is that I thought they looked really cool but difficult, but then I looked at the recipe and saw just how easy they were. So, you will be needing the following equipment: scales, a spatula, some measuring spoons, a sieve, 2 large mixing bowls, a tall glass, a cake tester, a skewer, a toothpick or a teaspoon handle just to check that your cakes are cooked, a 12-hole muffin or cupcake tray, a ice cream scoop or tablespoons or whatever you're going to use to get your cupcake mixture into your cupcake cases, a star nozzle, although that's completely optional, you can use whatever nozzle you like or don't use one at all, an elastic band and a large piping bag, 12 cupcake cases, some scissors, a wooden spoon or an electric hand whisk and a cooling rack. You will also be needing the following ingredients. For your cupcakes, you will be needing 175 grams of gluten-free self-raising flour, a pinch of salt, 110 grams of butter softened to room temperature, I like to use lactofree butter, 110 grams of caster sugar, 2 medium-sized eggs and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. For your mint buttercream, you will be needing 100 grams of butter softened to room temperature, I like to use lactose-free butter, 200 grams of icing sugar sifted, 3 tablespoons of single cream or, as I like to use, lactose-free cream, a 1/4 teaspoon of peppermint extract, and some green food colouring. And to decorate your cupcakes, you will be needing 200 grams of Dolly mixture sweets, 12 lollipops, and 120 grams of sugar sprinkles. So, let's go! First things first, measure out and prepare all of your ingredients so that they're completely ready for you to use, and then preheat your oven to 180 degrees C on a conventional oven, 160 degrees C on a fan oven, or gas mark 4. Now that that's all done, it is now time to prepare our cupcake tray. So for this we will be needing our cupcake tray and our 12 cupcake cases. So now all we're going to do is put our 12 cupcake cases into our cupcake or muffin tray, making sure not to double up on any as we put them in, which I have done numerous amounts of times. Oops. See there? That's doubling up. I picked these blue spotted ones because I think they're really fun as well. Just thought I'd throw that in there. So now set this off to the side until we're ready to bake. So now that we've done all that nasty prep work, it is now time to begin actually making our cupcakes. So for this you will be needing all of your cupcake ingredients, your spatula, your first large mixing bowl and your wooden spoon or electric hand whisk. So it's really as simple as putting everything in and mixing it all together until smooth and well combined, really. So here we go. First of all, we're going to add in the flour because that's what it tells me to do. I don't think there's a particular order you have to go by, but I'm going to go with it anyway. Scraping down the sides of each one as we go along as per normal. Salt, butter, caster sugar, eggs, and finally our vanilla extract. So now we're just going to mix this lot together until it is nice and smooth. So that's ever so nearly done, so I'm just going to scrape down the sides of my mixing bowl, making sure not to lose any mixture, and mix it until it is completely fully combined now. So now this is all done and looking lovely and smooth, it is now time to begin spooning this into our cupcake cases. So for this we will be needing our prepared cupcake or muffin tray and whatever you're going to use to get your mixture from your bowl into your cupcake cases, which for me is going to be my ice cream scoop. So now we are just going to grab a scoop of our mixture and place it into each of our cupcake cases. And it's as simple as that, so I'm just going to do the first 3 and then I'll skip to the end. But in between each addition, I'm going to scrape down the sides of my mixing bowl so that I lose as little mixture to the washing up as possible. 2. So now that this is all done and my cupcake mixture is spread evenly between my cupcake cases, I am now going to place this into my preheated oven for 15 to 20 minutes, or until I insert a cake tester, a skewer, a toothpick or a teaspoon handle and it comes out completely clean. After that time, I'm going to take my cupcakes out of the oven, leaving them in their tray, placing them onto a cooling rack to cool completely. So now that my cupcakes are out of the oven and are cooling on the cooling rack, it is now time to begin making our mint buttercream, because that needs time to chill as well. So for this you will be needing your butter, your spatula, your second large mixing bowl and your wooden spoon or your electric hand whisk. So the first step in actually making the buttercream, is to basically add the butter to the large mixing bowl, scraping down the sides as per usual. And to beat this together until it is really, really soft. I don't know how long that is, but I'm just going to do it by how fluffy it becomes, I suppose. I don't actually know. So as I explained just before I started mixing this, I didn't quite understand what it meant by soft because it was already softened to room temperature. But in case you're wondering, I just beat this for about 2 minutes and that seems to have done it really nicely. So now it is time to add our icing sugar, so that is what we will be needing next. So now we are just going to add in all of our icing sugar in one big go, which is not what I'm used to, I have to admit, but we're going to go for it because that's what it says to do. Ignore that. It's no fun if you don't make a mess while cooking, I say, because I always make a mess anyway. And now we're going to mix this together until our mixture is nice and smooth. So now that this is all done and looking lovely and smooth, I'm going to grab my cream, my peppermint extract and my tablespoon. So now I'm just going to add all of my peppermint extract to my icing, and it smells just divine. Then I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of my cream to my mixture at a time until I feel that it is light and creamy but still whole enough to hold its shape. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. So 1 tablespoon. Let's go with this. There we go. Leave you in there. And mix, 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 mix. So I'm actually just going to leave it to the 1 tablespoon of cream because it is still holding its shape and it's gone really nice and creamy. So now all I need is my green food colouring. So now that I've got my green food colouring, I am just going to add, well, I've actually only got this left in green. I couldn't find any in the shops. Add some of this green food colouring to my icing. Just a couple of drops, about 5 or 6 I put in there, I think. Mix this together and see how it goes. But before I start mixing it, I'm just going to scrape down the sides of my mixing bowl so that as much of it gets changed, as much of the colour gets changed as possible. And now I'm going to mix this together and see how it turns out. I'm actually going to add a lot more in it because it's very pale green at the moment and I want it to be kind of as bright as I can get it. But as I say, this is this is all I've got. So, you know, it will kind of, if I'm not happy with it, it will just go as green as this allows me to. So we'll mix this in and see how we get on again. Actually, I'm just going to empty the whole thing into it because I want it to be as bright as humanly possible. Here we go. So this will be my final time mixing, but I'm just going to scrape down the sides of my mixing bowl. I should have done that between the last one, but I forgot. But, you know, not everyone is perfect. And let's mix for one final time. So now that this is all mixed together and looking perfect, I'm going to now begin putting it into my piping bag. So for this I will be needing my piping bag, my nozzle, my scissors, my tool glass and my elastic band. So now I'm just going to snip off the end of my piping bag to about, what, an inch above where it ends. Put the claspy bit, do not fall, in the piping bag. This is of course only if you're using a nozzle. Put that in there, push it up to the top. And then put my nozzle and the other clasp around it, screwing that to the end. Now that's fully secure, I'm going to place that into my tool glass. Place my elastic band around the sides so that it doesn't ride up while I'm adding the piping buttercream to the piping bag, and I'm just going to begin adding my buttercream to the piping bag. There we go. So now I'm just going to remove the elastic band down the bottom of the glass. Unravel the top of my piping bag. Switch that down so it's at the bottom of the piping bag. Twist it. And then using the same elastic band, I'm going to tie off the end. This is so that when I am piping, sort my fingers out, the mixture doesn't go up and over my hands while I'm piping it, because that is a right pain. So now all we have to do is wait for our cupcakes to completely finish cooling, and I will see you after that. So now that my cupcakes have completely finished cooling, I'm just going to quickly ice one of them to show you how I'm going to do it. So I'm just going to start from the middle and work my way out, making a kind of rose, I suppose. That is possibly the best icing I have ever done. So repeat this with the rest of your cupcakes, and after that we have to leave them to set before we can add the decoration. So I will see you after that. Okay, so now that my cupcake icing is lovely and set, I'm just going to begin by decorating it. Basically, you will need your sprinkles, your dolly mixture and your lollipop. So I'm just going to start by, I've also put it on a plate, the cupcake on a plate, to try and make it easier for clear up afterwards. So I'm just going to sprinkle on some sprinkles. There we go. So now I can put this all back in here for later. Top with a couple bits of dolly mixture to push you down a bit so I don't lose you. 3, 4, and I want a chocolatey bit. Where's the chocolatey bit? Here. Okay, and then I'm going to unwrap my lollipop. There we go, and then just plonk that in the middle. And there we go! I might add an extra dolly mixture to it. Let's add another brown one. There we go. And there we have it! So repeat this step for the rest of your cupcakes, and I will again see you after that. And that is it. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out all the links in the description, as I love them all and wouldn't put them there if I didn't, including the recipe for these lovely cupcakes and my shop, where you will be able to buy all of the flour and equipment you will need for this recipe. If you do make these at home, don't forget to tag me on Instagram and use the hashtag bakingwithvickiie so that I can see all your lovely creations. Let me know in the comments of anything else you'd like to see me make, gluten or yeast free, as I do both. And finally, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you next time. Bye!